Once again, we have seen things turn in this test match, as you expect with most test matches. All this while, you thought that India were pretty much in control of this test match. It's not that they've lost the control, but is it a comeback that we are witnessing from this English team in this test because of the way that they're batting? And the common thought was that as soon as you get down to batting on day 3, which is the second innings, it'll get tougher and tougher. But what England are showing, that they're far more comfortable in this innings than they showed you in the first innings. Almost nearing 100, 89 for 1 in their first innings after some good bowling performance to ensure that India's lead don't go past that 200 run mark. So 190 was India's lead. First that, and then 89 for 1. Without doubt, I don't think there'll be any argument. This has been England's session clearly. But still, also without doubt that India way ahead in this test match after the first innings that they had. So let me start with Siddharth and Harshit, who gave England a 0% chance that they could get to 350 and or 340 and effectively give like a 150-ish run target to India to chase. India might still chase it, no denying that. But 0% chance. Now I will ask that same question. How many percent chance that England get to 340 and give India a 150-ish total?
A 30% chance. A 30%.
0 to 30.
0 to 30. But see, they are also one collapse away from ensuring that my prediction yesterday stays true.
100%.
0%. Yeah.
Also, the other way of looking at it, also, who knows, they even give a 200 plus target. Again, we're sitting at a place like this, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. We've seen collapses by foreign teams so often that you're not ruling them out. In fact, you're thinking there are more chances of that happening than England giving you 200. But there has been a big change from 0% to 30%. 30%. Siddharth has moved.
I'll make it 33.
3% more.
You're learning, he's learning from you. 7%.
30, 33, 7, 15, 85%. Combined of the team.
But I had said 15 yesterday, sir.
Yesterday.
Now today it could be different.
Okay.
But 15 yesterday. Go ahead.
33 now. I think it's been a very good session here from for England. They've trimmed down India's lead from 190 to 101. They've done it in quick time. You were expecting, and especially at the start of the session, if you would ask me, I would have said the exact same thing as yesterday. I wouldn't have budged a bit. The way
why would you budge?
Exactly.
Because you said it at the last
but
Nothing
even
changes in the morning.
But India's
unless your mood changes.
India's batting. No, India only added another 15
before their
batting. Their batting. Yeah, I would have said the same thing. But the way that they've batted, and I'm keeping in mind 2 dismissals. One of Bharat's, the other of Akshar Patel's, where the ball really stayed low. In fact, I saw this one sequence that the broadcaster showed where the ball pitched exactly around the same area, but the bounce was variable from both those positions. So I was keeping in mind all those uncertainties and all those variables, which is where I thought once the Indian spinners come into play, that the wickets will fall. Unfortunately, that's not happened. Not a lot of half chances either. Yes, there were at the start when Ravichandran Ashwin was tossed the ball. There weren't a couple of fielders more that you probably would have liked around the batter. But having said that, England have done well to now, for me, where I was not giving them any chance, let's say, of taking this match into the following day, I now think, have a 33% chance of taking it forward now. But still, India's game, as you earlier said as well. 33%
chance is giving for them to take it to the following day. I had asked about a 150 run lead.
This ball also, again, it's getting old now. The older it gets, the wicket as well, I'm guessing, because that roller, the light roller was also used. So yeah, it'll hold the pitch together for a while, as England would have liked. But yes, as the pitch sort of also loosens, the ball gets older. Maybe you see things happen more in favour of India as against things happening in the first session on day 3.
No, I asked you 150, not for them taking the game forward. 150, will they be able to give?
A target?
150. That
so
is,
you're saying about 340?
That was 33%. Taking game forward, fourth day, nobody even asked.
No, earlier that was the question, na? Yesterday.
No.
Yesterday also
Harshit again
was
being
Harshit being
is doing a
Harshit.
Harshit.
Harshit doing a Harshit.
Both those scenarios, I'm saying it's
fine.
overlapping. Let's say it's overlapping in a sense because you need that kind of a
Taking
target.
forward means anything, na?
Taking forward could not 250 runs. Match doesn't go forward. Na 50 runs India will score today.
Anyway,
So,
so
yeah.
I'm asking you again for the third time of asking.
350.
Yeah. And the target of
150
150 target.
No.
0%.
320 odd, maybe not 350.
Arre, what percent chance of 350?
350.
Yaar,
But
fourth time.
what is? No, why?
Give a
just-
percentage.
Percentage.
No,
But that was the question I asked yesterday, Harshit.
No, but I'm saying a percentage on 33 of there being a day 4.
I
in
am.
this.
The heat.
But what?
Okay.
But
I
what?
am asking you because that is the question we asked yesterday. So I'm asking. We asked that question yesterday. The
350,
percentage
you're only
was
getting
different.
to. See,
I'm
moment
asking
you get
you
to
percentage. It could be 0, 1, 2, 5, 7, 10.
350,
Should I
I'll say
ask
only
in Punjabi
5%.
or Hindi?
Only 5%.
That's it. That's what I asked.
355.
5%. That's
Yeah.
what I asked. Yeah, Ashwin.
I had given 7% yesterday, and I've really I've not ruled out England at any point of this test match fully. I've always given them some chance, and again they have come back and made sort of a comeback, just 100 runs away from India's lead now. They are, if on the course they are, I feel if they'll play by today, end of the day, and then the match goes in tomorrow, then I think England would be in a very good condition. Because the way, at the pace they play, if they continue to play at that pace, I think they would be in a very good situation. If see, again, in such a wicket, in such a test match, a collapse is not far away at any point. But again, I feel the wicket, so there are three parts of the wicket as we saw in the starting of the test match. I feel the part that is on the batsman's end, that is too full, where the ball is actually turning. The part, the center part is played evenly as of now. So I think that
So but that uneven bounce one was kind of good length area.
That has started happening today, and that happened twice, if I'm not wrong. With,
No, 3 times. So a couple of times stayed low,
Stayed
one
low.
just shot up.
Shot
I think
up.
Duckett was batting.
Duckett was batting.
And the one that kept low was to Pope when Aksar was bowling.
Yeah,
Aksar
yeah.
bowled
No,
one.
I'll cut your explanation later. My question to you was, you said 7%.
Yeah, now
that
I'll give them 30, 35, 40%.
40%.
40%, 350.
No, 150
anything
target, so it will be
yeah.
340 na.
340, yeah.
340, he's given them 40% because they're at 90. I'll also, I'd said 15% yesterday. I'll double it to 30%. I think there's a 30% chance that they could get to a 150 sort of a target for India. That's not to say that they become favourite, because you'd back India to chase that 150 down. Even though the pitch may be behaving and it'll even get worse, you'd still imagine India will chase that down. So that shouldn't be a worry. But for England to even reach that stage after conceding 190 run lead in the first innings would be massive, which, as you showed, yesterday in our predictions, there was 0% chances. The needle has moved a bit for, let's say, Siddharth, for Shashwat, me as well, not so much for Harshit, because he said 0 and it's not really moved, so he still gives them no chances. But I think where they are, 90 for the loss of 1 wicket, they have come back into the test match. Because what we discussed yesterday was, what was that score from where England thinks that this test match is done, looking ahead to the next test match. And at that time, a lot of us had assumed the 3-figure mark would be that. You had said 300 and somebody said 150 and so on and so forth. I think that's what happened. They went past 190. And so most of us assumed, but this was the stage that it was done for England. They look for the next test match. Not quite now. I don't think so. If they're sitting in lunch right now and discussing, I don't think that they are now looking to Vizag.
Yeah.
They are in the game. They're saying, listen, fantastic start, got them out pretty early in the game. Let's play session by session. Let's take a look at the next session. 100 runs. Let's see how many wickets we lose. If we get another 100 runs, we are even in terms of no lead for India, 0-0. And then let's see where we go. So I think if they were to lose 3 wickets and lead 0-0, and with 7 wickets in hand, I think then they'll be almost at even keel in the test match, especially considering India are going to be batting last and will have the pressure of chasing. So that's their next target. Imagine from 30%, if you're sitting here and the lead is 0 now, during the tea time and they've lost, let's say, 2 more wickets, which is 3 down, I think then it's a 50-50 game. If not 50-50, it's a 45-55 sort of a game. And this nobody would have thought. So a fantastic session for England. Also, in a way, telling us, that's what is the beauty of Test cricket. That at no point is a team out. They're in with a chance, and I think England is there. Okay, let's start with now India's batting. What did you make of that?
Defensive, surprising. It felt as if India were behind the game. What is the main argument then that in only 40 minutes you score 15 runs? Just 15. You are defending. Jadeja was gone into a shell. Okay, some delivery spun sharply, but that happened even yesterday. I mean, you wanted to eat up on time. That is definitely not. That is definitely not the way. What is the logical explanation? I think logic just went out of the window. They just came in. I think India didn't turn up. The batsmen didn't turn up. The bowling also, the field placements were such that they could get the runs.
No, what if the reason behind that was, one, let's say uneven bounce, let's say, and they said that, listen, we are ahead in the game. Why should we push the issue? We are ahead, well ahead. When we get a ball to hit, we'll hit. The other ones which, uneven bounce, let's try and defend it. Because they're not in a situation like England is, right, where they'll have to push the issue, where they'll have to take the game forward if they want to come back. In India, on their case, said they're well ahead, we'll have enough time to even bowl them out. No worries, just go. Or the second thing, which we discussed at length, about hundreds. 80s, 85, yesterday felt no pressure, today knows fully well that that 3-figure mark is something that I can achieve. You come with a completely different approach, which is why I go back to that whole debate yesterday, that when you keep having these hundreds and you keep rewarding hundreds, what happened? Yesterday we blamed KL Rahul and Yashasvi. We did not, but a lot of folks blame them, saying that what is this, get to 100, why did you play that stroke? Now look at the antidote of that, exactly the opposite of what happened today.
Yes.
Today you have a player who was kind of playing his natural game yesterday. Today with 100 in mind, changes that game so that he doesn't become the same guy who tries to play an aggressive shot to a loose ball, might I add, and then gets out and you say, listen, again, give away his wicket. There was 100 for the taking. And is that the thought process which completely changed Ravi Jadeja's game?
It must have. Because the way how you say, okay, block, he had only 6. I mean, he was batting at a strike rate of close to 50. Today, look at his strike rate, it's fallen well below. Akshar Patel boosted his strike rate up from 30 to 54, those 3 hits.
What's the difference?
No pressure.
Because Akshar Patel is not chasing 100.
Yes.
At that time.
But today even he was also in a shell.
Exactly, which is why I will sort of not think that, it is probably that 100 riding on his mind that slowed him down today. I think both the batters, given how settled they were, both were just going for
Akshar
blocks.
was far better.
No, but how many runs did he eventually end up adding?
44.
Yeah.
9 runs. He added 9 runs.
And Jadeja added 6 runs. So both were slow to begin with, and that's where I thought, because both, when Markwood was bowling, both were looking to just block the ball. When Root was also.
Was it some good bowling by him?
Or I think
I think it was a defense. It was a change in intent. It was a change in mindset today. Time consumption or eating into the time couldn't be a logical explanation.
How is it a logical?
That's what I'm saying. And it's that change in mindset. It's the change in approach which I think cost not Akshar so much.
What prompted that change?
It's baffling, to be honest, because they should have just carried forward. And I understand you take an over or two to just judge the pace of the ball, to judge the wicket the following day, and just get into the groove again. It can take about 5, 10, 15 minutes at best. But after that, you expect them to carry forward the way that they left off and not, let's say, start from scratch. Let's say, had that been the intent, maybe the result would have been different. But the fact that it was as if they both started playing on 0 and they were starting their innings, I think that mindset, that defensive mindset, is what cost especially Jadeja his wicket. Had he continued to dance down the track, have that mix of aggression with defense, maybe things would have augured well for him.
No, I think there was some extra role of the fact that the ball was actually, there was uneven bounce a little more than yesterday today. But I also think, as far as Akshar is concerned, I think he was about to go for that approach. Eventually, I think he was also a little both of the batters, I think, were in the shell only because of this reason that Jadeja was nearing to his 100. I think because even Akshar Patel would have had that thought, even Jadeja, both of them, that as soon as Akshar falls, even if Akshar Patel falls, then there will be a Bumrah and Siraj only left. So just the fact, because Jadeja he's not a regular top order
Jadeja
batter.
has told Bapu, quite possible कि यार
संभल के
हाँ मेरा 100 तो आ जाए quite it happens in cricket
but I think
because after that we don't trust the two tailenders so be there once I get it, it's a valid point,
and that's why I think both of them got into the shell, and that wasn't too useful for them.
That is why I go back to the thing, if you stop rewarding hundreds and you say it doesn't matter, and which is why if you make a Jadeja feel that his 87 is also outstanding, I don't think he'll have that in his mind. But we will keep analysing with 100.
I think
it was outstanding. If we have to look at it, I don't think the 100 was playing on his mind. I mean, see,
100% it was.
I don't think so.
You saw it
There
on
is
his
no
face
other
as soon as he
reason.
got
What
it.
is the reason? You tell me. Can you think of a reason? See, I will agree with you saying if it's not. If there was another valid reason that when you yourself are saying it's baffling, I have no idea why anyone would do it.
because
There aren't too many options. I mean, whenever we look at why a batsman's approach is, whether it's Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, whoever it is, obviously it's based on what you're seeing. It's not 100% sure what you're assuming because the player himself has to come out and say. Though Jaiswal did come out and say yesterday, and that was our approach, but that was later. But when you're talking about it, you could see it from the outside that listen, that's how he got to his 80. He was going to continue to play like that, and he said it as much. But I'm saying today, can you think of another reason?
And also the fact that he batted over. I think if the momentum was continued yesterday only and he should have chased his 100 yesterday, I think it would have been much more easier because now suddenly again what Harshit sir mentioned also that I think he started from scratch today. Overnight he went, then that pressure would have added on. He would have thought about the fact that he's nearing his 100.
Exactly. So but I'm just saying that is a given that when you come the next day, whichever batsman, whether you're in 50, 20, 25, you start afresh, so you take a bit of time. But as you're pointing out that this was an excessive defensive mindset. It wasn't the initial being okay, taking my time, I'm starting fresh. It was an excessive.
It's that mindset again, yes, of course, for all cricketing and logical reasons, you're starting afresh and everything, as they say, gets undone that you've done the previous day. So you do have to apply yourself again. But I'm talking about the intent. The intent was missing today.
Exactly. So what could be the reason?
Perhaps.
If it's not the 100.
Perhaps.
What else could be the reason?
Again, I can look at it as just one of the theories. But
I want to know
perhaps
theory.
the lines and lengths.
Because when you have multiple theories, then you're not sure what is the.
Perhaps the lines and lengths of England today in the first 40 minutes were much better than what it was on the second day.
That's because he was bowling his better spinners.
Yeah, he got his captaincy because see, England today.
He bowled a Root. He bowled a Leach.
He can't bowl a Leach. Because Jeetan Patel yesterday, I think I will do one video on that. He confirmed that Leach had suffered an injury.
No, but Leach was bowling today.
But he's bowling very gingerly. He's not 100%. Jack
but
Leach.
Then if he was not 100%, he was bowling, then you should have gone after him.
Because what happened was the lengths were good. The lengths and the line.
Leach did bowl well then.
Root bowled better. Root
Root of course did.
Wood bowled better. Rather than targeting the leg stump line, he was more closer to middle and off. And he was bowling the bouncer line, not giving them that much of room.
Hit Jadeja.
I think it was a bit of tactics as well. I think which sort of pushed both Jadeja and Akshar into a bit of a shell because the field setup at the start when Wood got the ball was all as if he's going to bowl bouncers, which wasn't quite the case in fact. So maybe the Indians were actually guessing at all times as to what the bowler is going to do, because I remember how many fielders were there at the start of play as if it's just going to be a barrage of bouncers on the Indian batters, but it wasn't quite the case. So maybe that's why as well.
That is the reason. I think the lines and lengths were much better from England today. And they finally recalibrated after 2 days. Because remember, day 1 they struggled, day 2 they struggled. And as Nikhil pointed out, Ben Stokes got the right bowlers. Finally, Root, look at the number of overs he's gotten. 30 overs.
29 or what? 29.
29. 4 for 79. It's not a coincidence that he's gotten his second best test haul.
Yeah.
Both have come against India now. So, the thing is better field settings, better lines and lengths from the England bowlers. That is why you could score only 15 and 40 minutes. These guys in about 50 minutes have scored about 89. That is the difference.
Maybe. England's batting, a breath of fresh air, you know, the way they've batted, especially Duckett, he's been rather aggressive. Those, switch hits or reverse sweeps, whichever way you look at it. I have a question. Is it the first time that we've had a batter who scored more runs off the switch hit than conventional stroke? Possible.
Could be.
How many is he on right now?
35.
35. Is it possible that he scored, close to
38, yeah.
he scored close to
50% of his runs.
20 odd runs by reverse sweep.
50%.
More than 50.
Yes. That is the thing. And see, before he was facing
First
up
time in
Ashwin,
history of cricket it is
I don't
happening.
know. We have to look at
If he goes on like this, I will celebrate his 50 off the reverse hit.
Yes.
It's possible.
It is.
It can happen. He could be the first man to get to a 50
by reverse sweeping.
by reverse sweep. Just with reverse sweep. But he is nailing it. It's not even that he's looking tentative. He is nailing it. Crawley tried it. He looked a bit tentative doing that. Especially one to the Ashwin delivery.
He tried to, and he also tried to defend, but game of the.
Pope's also looking horribly out of the comfort zone when he's trying to reverse sweep. He's looking much better when he's playing conventional cricket, and I think that is exactly what he should do. But Duckett, man, reverse nailing it.
Just a couple of balls that left his bat. He got outdone by the spin, and that will happen on this surface. But otherwise, once he got that first couple of reverse sweeps, he nailed those first couple of reverse sweeps. Then he really shifted gears.
See, he had to correct his record against Ashwin because he's been dismissed in 4 innings 4 times, with an average of 4.
And Ashwin really got him up again.
Almost. Had that ball not bounced over, he was trying that sweep, it just bounced over the stumps. New ball, that's the problem. So
that in fact would have been the first wicket to fall. Then Crawley was still on the
Bit surprised with not much of Jadeja.
Very surprising.
Went with Akshar, not much of Jadeja. A bit surprising, but I think, he's going to do a lot of bowling. Ashwin, by the way, has been the wily old fox, trying different things, changing around the wicket, over the wicket. He's continued to change that, creating those angles, always thinking. Came close a few occasions, bat pad also, just, didn't go to the fielder. But it's looking like he's there. Yes. And for all you know, we're talking about England having a resurgence. Still, India way ahead in this game. And as we've seen in the past, batting collapse, not too far away. Once a Jadeja, Ashwin are in the mood, then they're all over you. And then the wickets fall like one after the other,
First innings is a classic example. There were 55 for no loss. Next 5 overs, 3 wickets gone.
Absolutely. See, they are only a collapse away. A session like that can indulge a collapse. England, the way they are batting, a collapse is on the cards.
Okay.
Could be.
But if they make 200 for 2 and then collapse after that with another 50-70 runs, then
No, I think
it'll be a moral victory.
I think this is the thing with baseball, which is that it's the whole mindset that they're not playing the situation as of now. They're just playing the condition. They're playing the bowlers, and they're playing session by session. I think that is what has worked for them till now, and that is what would work for them moving ahead.
Somewhere down the line, it will catch up with them. Because see, some conventions you don't break into.
We'll see. It's working.
So far.
It's working so far. Exactly. I agree. I'm not writing it off.
Yeah.
There's enough. 5 test matches, long way to go. Not writing it off. Yep. Okay, lots of questions, so we'll try and address those. Let's start with Ritvika Reddy from the US. She says, I wanted to say that the Sidhu quote about stats and bikinis is crass. I don't know why you all keep repeating it. Maybe talk about the male alternative. By the way, Ritvika, I completely agree with you. Yeah. I've felt uncomfortable talking about it, but it's just that because he's quoted it in the past, it's become a go-to, and sometimes we're not quoting it to actually tell you the stat, but the fact that he was famous for doing it.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, and maybe it's a fantastic idea that we should talk about the male alternative. Only thing, it will not work in a male alternative. I'll tell you why. Because I think, women are, for a reason called the fairer sex. I don't like the fairer sex, but the more aesthetically better sex, that's for sure. And when you talk about that bikini thing, which I agree with you is crass and we should not. So that for those of you who don't know, it goes like, stats are like bikinis. What they reveal is not important, what they hide is, or something to that effect.
They reveal more than they hide, something like that.
No, that's not what it means.
Something like that, I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, it means that the meaning of that phrase is that what they are revealing is not of importance. What they're hiding is far more important, right? Yeah. And I agree with you that that's completely crass. But in the male scenario, if I was to cut that, let's say, stats are like male swimsuits. What they reveal is more important than, is less important than what they hide.
Yeah.
Won't work because men are ugly, So nothing that they will reveal or hide is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So I agree with you completely, and we'll try, and it's a good suggestion, we'll try never to repeat that again, because I think it's quite chauvinistic and it should be kept out.
Yep.
Good point.
Good point,
Ritvika.
yes.
We'll keep that in mind. But we can't even use a male alternative. I gave you the reasons why.
Yeah. Vishal Panchal is saying, good to be awake to watch England fight back. Probably India win, but need test match going into the 4th, 5th day. Tired of watching match done in 3 days in India.
Good point. And I hope, the moaning media that we get from the visiting country, they have had a chance to complain about the pitch, because it's looked just fine. Otherwise, what would have been the headlines had it been a 2-day pitch. So it's good. It's now looking like that's going into day 4.
Yeah.
I think there are now more chances of it going on day 4 than finishing it on day 3.
Yep.
More chances. Still, as I said, anything can happen. But if you were to ask me in terms of probability, I'd say more chance of now going into day 4.
Yep.
Easily. What by tea time we'll certainly know.
Yeah.
Where it's going. But good. Even we're enjoying it. We're also happy. People oftentimes think that for us, if a test match finishes in 2 days, 3 days, great, because we get 2 days. No, we still have to work, and those 2-3 days without a test match are even tougher.
Yes.
So with test match, if it goes on for 5 days, it's more fun, because there is action, there is a lot to discuss, and it's much better.
Much better indeed.
Completely agree.
Science for All is saying England have practiced sweeps the most, and it shows.
Agreed.
The practice is finally coming
But
into
I'll just
execution.
add on to that. They were masters of practicing the sweep earlier and coming to India and doing well. What now they've practiced is the reverse sweep, which they're doing even better. So they've kind of tried to upset the rhythm of Indian players. But they have, see the way Duckett's nailing them, it cannot be by chance. He has spent hours and hours in the net practice sessions practicing that particular thing. And that's why
it's a hallmark of the brand of cricket that they're playing: the sweep, the reverse, the ramps. If a Joe Root can open his account with a ramp, then anything can happen.
But don't you think that sweep, going to opting for the sweep options clearly means that they are not able to read the bowler from hand, and that's why it's a go-to shot. I don't think that it's a very useful shot in India against such spinners, but that cannot be a go-to shot.
No, but see, it's also how they are born and brought up. Different conditions. Indian players won't do it. But I think sweep's not a bad option, especially when the ball's turning a lot.
Yeah.
So see, why is it? I mean, conventionally in cricket, what are we taught to play with a straight bat? It's mostly done because the line you can judge easier than sometimes the length or even the bounce. So the bounce can sometimes betray you.
Yeah.
Right. So if you play cross-batted, the bounce will betray you. You'll get out. So it's better to trust the line, so you play. That's conventional. But I'm saying on a pitch where it's turning square, then it's better because you don't know what the degree of turn will happen. Certain balls hit the rough, certain don't. So what do? You now change the math. It's simple math. You go into the math, okay, now horizontal more, because then I'm covering more for that error that I may have. Let's say a 40-degree turn vis-a-vis a 50-degree turn, that error is covered. Whereas bounce, the chances of uneven bounce may change. But it's interesting now because we've started seeing that uneven bounce. Now if you're a batter, you're caught in a country. You do not know. Now both ways you're caught. Then each batter will decide what he's more comfortable with.
Because remember, Root got out playing the sweep in the first innings.
Yeah.
He top-edged the sweep and he fell to short fine.
Again, the bounce that will happen.
But all Sena country batsmen, if they come, they would want to sweep.
Yeah,
Because
the reason you want to sweep is because you don't know which way it's going.
Yeah,
to
it's
sweep.
always
you are throwing
And the degree of turn.
Yeah.
the
From the
spinners,
same place,
yeah.
same bowler, same everything. One time turns marginally, other time just square. Don't know.
You want to throw the spinner off his line and length. Yeah. That's why Gilchrist used to only have one effective method against the spinners. Sweep. Hayden, sweep. Steve Waugh, sweep.
Yeah.
Kevin Peterson,
Yeah, he's
superb sweeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve Smith as well.
Smith doesn't sweep that much.
He's
Yeah.
now
He's
starting
that
to-
Tendulkar-like paddle kind of. He doesn't go down on his haunches and sweep.
When in India he does.
Gooch.
Gooch, Cook.
Cook as well, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, it was Gooch who swept India out of the World Cup semi-final in 1987. So
One more chat we had.
we had one more chat on that. Yes, Krish Gupta, I think it was. Krish Gupta, yeah, because Root was bowling to left-handers. They were waiting for left-arm spinners. But again, that doesn't explain their defensive mindset. The England bowlers bowled really well. The lengths were good, the lines were good. Root in particular was really tight around off stump. And it was a skidder that got rid of Jadeja, although it was a 50-50 call. We discussed it in the... What do you think was...
See, I think I was fair. I think it's fair because you go with the on-field umpire's decision. I think that there was no way, and I saw that replay multiple times, there was no way the third umpire could figure out what was hit. Now, when that happens, you go with the on-field umpire. What else do you do?
Poor Murray Erasmus.
If he had not given it out. So, but I think, I'm just reverse the situation. If it's India, Indian bowler bowling, if that's the case, then you would want whatever the on-field umpire has taken the decision, go with it. I think that
it would have become a big row, let's say, if India were... I was the opinion that, it was 50-50, but I think it would have been a bigger issue if India were in a precarious situation. Right now, you'll take it, but again, these things are always 50-50.
No, I think it would have been a big row because if India were in a precarious situation, but it does not take away from the fact that the right call was made. What is the third umpire supposed to do?
I'm saying, more often, it's always 50-50, the outcome of it also. I'm saying, there are chances, and we've seen it in the past as well, where yes, the umpire can't figure out, and at times the benefit of the doubt does get given to the batter.
No, but that used to be earlier. No? Now with the on-field umpire having made a decision, then you can't give benefit of the doubt.
Now
that
you need
takes precedent over
conclusive evidence to overturn.
Exactly.
There was nothing conclusive.
He did say there was nothing conclusive, so that is why
100%
on-field call.
On-field umpire is set out. That's out.
That's the protocol.
Unless now the technology is telling you, no, you've heard. That technology is not being able to tell you that. So you go with what the...
No, he followed protocol. It was the right decision in that sense. So
nothing wrong. Yes, let's take some more
normal comments, please.
I don't like this normal and all comments are comments. Let's take more comments. Vansh Jain says the frame of ultra edge shows edge later in the frame, which confirms that it was bad. Possible, but I saw it again and again. It didn't.
It is again, as I said,
very close.
See, side on doesn't tell you anything. Side on was just useless in this particular case.
Front on.
Front on. It was all down to front on at the end and nothing conclusive per se.
Two technological terms which undo this entire thing: parallax error and frame. Frames. It's all a matter of frames. One frame. It's so minute. It's impossible. So that is the thing.
Agreed. Piyush Nandre says England players are so good sweeping they could join one political party in India. Good one.
Good one. Yep.
They are. Okay. Prakash Jha says what I think is that both batters were trying to play out Wood and Root. Leach bowled just one over where Akshar hit 2 boundaries. And your thoughts on Rohit's defensive tactics? In fact, I thought Rohit was kind of aggressive because I remember this one incident where when he got, when Akshar got hit for those 4 or a couple of 4s, Akshar said, let's have a fielder at the back. He said, no, don't. Let's be with the attacking field and let him try and make a mistake. Invite him to do that. Did you think?
I don't think so. See, he had the proper fields, but then see, England were going for their shots, they bisected the gap. He had the right fields.
And you had to open after some time. You can't be that headstrong that no matter what, this is my field, I don't care.
He had a 50% in-out kind of a field.
In-out field, exactly. That's what he had.
So, but defensive tactic, Rohit is not defense, he's just calm. There's one appeal by Ashwin, TRS can retake? He said, please, go back. Nothing.
A lot of runs are there still left. So I think that is the cushion that Rohit has.
Okay, Sharan says, I do not think that England bowled well. The cream of the Indian batsmen are already back in the pavilion. This is my view. They bowled well to the lower order.
Yes.
Don't you dare call Jadeja and Akshar that. They would take offense. They consider themselves. They may be batting 1 at 6, 1 at 9. But they consider themselves proper batters. As they've shown in Ranji Trophy where they get a chance to bat much higher.
Jaddu's got 3 triple tons.
Exactly. Yes. So they wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that. But point well taken. He does not think that England was that good. Rookie Techie is kind of endorsing the fact earlier. He's saying 2 defensive field setting. They should have had 2 fielders in deep for reverse sweep. But that would be defensive, right?
And you don't know when are you going to play the reverse sweep. To have a fielder just for that, we don't know. It's it's hindsight again because he's playing the reverse sweep, but when? If he doesn't play the reverse sweep, that fielder is wasted. That's the problem. This is like captaincy is like a game of chess. You make one wrong move, that's it. You're gone.
Nietzsche, please. Nietzsche. Okay, let's take a few more. Siddharth wants us to predict which tests will finish first, Australia, West Indies or India, England. He says India, England.
I would agree with
India,
him.
England.
We're all with you.
Because that Brisbane pitch, for once, it's a true deck.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Naman Kantpal is saying, I believe your point got reinstated. Milestone, especially 100, isn't important in modern cricket. Just curious, why no hotspot sneakometer? Siraj needs to pull his weight with ball as well. Yeah. Okay. So one by one. Yeah, Siraj, I agree. But I don't think he'll get too much bowling to do in this test match. That's agreed. Maybe now for India to think of playing another spinner, for all you know, or a batter in the next test match. Who knows? They could go there. To the other point, why no hotspot sneakometer?
There is RTS, real-time sneako is there, but hotspot, it was deemed to have too many errors. I mean, hotspot nowadays isn't regularly used because, because what happened,
said Vaseline can be put and then it does.
and also the angle of the sun, the camera is that if the sun comes at a particular angle, whatever edge you want, it'll be so hot, you can't detect the edge. So that's why hotspot was anyway discredited, that had a higher error percentage if you have to look at it.
Yeah, and the point about the 100 shouldn't be important. I think what got reinstated was the fact that you had Jaiswal and KL Rahul continued to play the way they did and got out, could not get to the 100. You had Jadeja because people said, no, you should be conventional. He played conventional and also got out. My point being, you could do whatever you want and you could still not reach that 100.
Yes.
So rather keep playing the game that has taken you to those 80s. That will give you a better chance of reaching 100 if 100 is that milestone that you're chasing, rather than change your approach. And which is the point I tried to make, that I love the fact that a KL Rahul and a Jaiswal did not change their approach. But I'm not saying that is the only approach, which people are saying that no, now in test cricket also you're talking about intent. No, I'm not saying. If your approach is like that of Jadeja, fair enough, have that approach. But what did that tell you? That you can even miss 100 with that approach too.
Yep.
So let each person play the way they are. Let's not criticize. Okay, so then you should be, if you did not like the way Jaiswal played, then don't clap when he hits the first ball for 4.
Yeah.
Then say, no, why? How dare you take a chance? First ball, you should have seen the first over out.
Yes.
Enough time for you to play shot. But you clap at that time. And then when he gets out, no, why did you play that? Can't have your cake and eat it.
Now I understand how Viru managed to survive. He was the epitome of whatever this baseball and whatever thing is. I mean, he and Gilchrist, first ball, whack. I don't mind. I want to see the ball, hit the ball, that's it. That's what Naval Singh is saying.
No, Naval Singh's point is very interesting. He says AB said that baseball would work in India, and the reason is India have been playing baseball even before the term was coined.
Of course.
In India, yes.
Yes.
Can't survive on these pitches, but you can score when you are on the pitch.
You can. I mean, because see,
don't rule out baseball just yet.
As we all said, baseball is just a marketable term that was coined by the British media. I mean, there has been so many people who have been playing aggressive test cricket. I mean, the likes of Viv Richards.
But
he was no defensive.
No, Baz himself, but he did not get the term then.
I know.
When he was playing it. When he became coach,
This is about the whole team, not one,
no,
two,
but
three
they are doing
individuals.
things differently. They are doing things.
I mean, the Australian team under Ponting.
culture.
Yeah, and that culture is in your bowling, in your field
Yeah,
placement,
everything.
everything.
I mean, the West Indies team
Your
under Lloyd.
declarations for that matter.
There is something
You
different
can see, it can make you look like a genius or a fool both at the same time.
It happened in Edgbaston.
Edgbaston,
No,
exactly.
Birmingham, at Edgbaston. It happened there. When they were 20 runs behind, let's get a crack at the Aussies. Oh, it failed. Here, I mean, see, I'm saying a whole team philosophy, like Clive Lloyd's West Indies, they would play baseball. Ponting's Australia.
I'd say what Pat Cummins did yesterday was more, let's say, in sync with their philosophy. Let's have a crack, even though we had a wicket in hand trailing, but 22.
Michael Clarke, hold my beer. He did the same thing in 2012. West Indies, he were trailing by 30 runs, he declared. And they got them out of 160. Yeah. So Michael Clarke, hold my beer before Pat Cummins.
Mark Taylor did it. He didn't want to go past
Bradman, yes.
high
Peshawar, 334.
So
Yeah. First ball of the session, they get a good couple of runs.
quickly change his comment.
Yeah.
Good. That's a sign of a good commentator.
Yep. No, that's
He
all.
reminds me
And
of.
that is going to be what a fantastic shot. It looks like he's going to, and he's caught.
It's like Bill Lawry. I mean, What a catch! No, he drops it.
He reminds me of this Rishabh Pant reel that's doing the rounds these days. Where he says, Yankar hua yaar mere saath. He want to say something.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, see you. Tea time.
Tea
Good
time.
test match.
Yep.
Enjoy it. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll catch you. Tea time.
Yes.
Bye bye. See you.
Nandri.